Mikule family, and welcome to Wami Dunu. Wami Dunu in my native language of Benin in Fon means come share a meal with me. So here we're going to be exploring all things West African food and culture. This will be a safe space for us to explore the diversity of West African cuisine. My name is Chef Ade. I am a chef and storyteller based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. I am the North Carolina Chef of the Year, and it is such an honor for me to be here and cooking with you all today. When I was a little girl, walking around the grocery stores, I would always see a Latin section, an Italian section, an Asian section, but never an African one. Even though we don't have a section named after us, it doesn't mean that our food isn't flavorful. It doesn't mean that we don't have soul, nor does it not mean that we do not have our own stories to tell. So this is a safe space for us to dive into all of those things and show you how you can implement West African ingredients in your own kitchen with your own family. So today we're going to be making abobo, which is a dish very near and dear to my heart. We're going to be making aloko, which is a fried plantain, and fonio, the most ancient grain of West Africa. So let's begin. Allons-y. We're going to be making a dish that's incredibly near and dear to my heart, inspired by my mama when I was a little girl in Benin. She actually used to make this dish and sell it right outside of her home, so it's really special to me. Basically, abobo is stewed black-eyed peas. If you're from the South, you know exactly what that means. So what we have in here are some peas, lots of aromatics. We have onion, garlic, ginger, which is basically in every dish in West African cooking. We are also going to be doing this a little bit with a twist, a la Ade, I like to say. That's because we're going to be using suya spice, and this is actually mine. I'll tell you more about that a little bit later, but suya is probably like the most common street food across West Africa. My goal here is to show all of us how we can use these spices in our day-to-day cooking. So what we have on the side here is some water that's been boiling in our beautiful Carolina cooker pot. So it looks like it's like really ready for us. All we're gonna do is get this in the pot for like 10-15 minutes so that it's a little bit al dente, so that we can go ahead and get it into our stew. So you wanna go ahead and dump it right in. It's really important to soak your peas. It helps just kind of tenderize it a little bit, and it's just better for your digestion. And at this point, we'll add some salt too, because salt at every step of the way. My ancestors say add a little more. And then thyme, because we really want this dish to be herbaceous. We want to like taste all of the herbs. It really does make a difference in this for us. So get all of that in your pot, cover it, and forget about it for just a few minutes. And when that's ready, we'll go ahead and make our stew. And then I'll tell you all about what goes in there. Okay, family, now we're going to be making a dish that is probably all across West Africa. We have different variations of it. In my home country of Benin, we call it chachanga. That's quite a mouthful. But in like Ghana or in Nigeria, they call it suya. And it's like a really big street food. You know, we make like satays or skewers of meat, and we put this spice on top of it and we grill it. It's like my favorite thing to eat. The moment I get to get off the plane in Benin, that's exactly where my mama takes me. Today we're gonna be using Ilewat Food Suya Spice Blend. It's actually my very own. I'm so proud of it. This is like my baby, and it has a really great mission. You know, I work a lot with farmers, female farmers specifically, in my home country of Benin and in Ghana to source all the ingredients for this spice blend. So not only is it like absolutely delicious, and maybe I'm a little biased in saying this, but I don't care, it is delicious, but it's also mission driven and it's making a change in the world. So I'm gonna show you exactly how to do this in your kitchen, the way we do it in Benin. So we have some beef here, we have some suya spice, and I'm gonna show you all how to add a little bit of like, to really make the flavors pop. The first thing we're gonna do is make our marinade, which is gonna have the suya spice, a little bit of lime zest, and lime juice, and some olive oil. So what you want to do, this is what I do in my own kitchen and in the kitchen at work, you know, just roll it a little bit. Just roll it a little bit. It helps to like make it easier for you to squeeze it if you don't have what do people call it? A lime squeeze, a lemon squeezer? I don't know, we just use our hands where I come from. So what you wanna do is add a little bit of suya spice, or a lot of it, however much you want. We do ancestral cooking here. We do intuitive cooking here, which means we like trust ourselves, we listen to ourselves, and like we go until we hear stops, because that's our ancestors talking to us. So just some suya spice in there, and I love the color. It reminds me of the earth from home. A little bit of olive oil. Here we're using, is this not like beautiful, y'all? With our lime, you want to zest it. What people don't know is that how much flavor like the zest of a lime or a lemon holds. It really adds that extra layer of flavor to anything you're making. So an easier way to zest is to just hold the zest, the microplane over the bowl like this, and just go all around. This is probably enough for us. But when you do that, y'all, it just kind of holds it all in place, and it's so much easier, and you can see what you're doing, just like that. Okay, a little bit of lime. And of course, I know that this, my spice is flavorful enough, but it doesn't hurt to add just a pinch more of salt just to bring out all the flavors. Then you go ahead and mix that. And you're looking for about this consistency, you guys, just for it to fall right off like this. So our marinade is done. I'm gonna taste it because that's how I know when it's good or not. It's delicious, y'all. It's very good. You can taste like the acidity from the lime. Just makes it really bright. Okay, next we are gonna cut our beef. I'm gonna show you how to do that. The piece I'm using here is a ribeye. You can use whatever piece you'd like, but you wanna use something that's gonna be like super tender. And you just wanna cut it in like 1-inch slices, just like that. You can even cut it thinner. Sometimes in Benin, in the streets, they go like this right on top of it to just get the meat really thin. Whatever you're feeling. I'm feeling both today, so that's what I'm doing. And I know you see these fatty bits here. Some people might be like, oh, take that away. No, we like it, that's flavor. And you don't only have to do this with beef, y'all. You can use lamb, you can use goat, you can use chicken, you can use cabbage, you can use literally whatever the heck you want. So go ahead and put it in a bowl. I'm gonna move this out of our way here. All right, friends. So our meat is right in here. You wanna just add your marinade as much as you want. I'm gonna leave some on the side for when we grill this, just to add an extra layer of flavor. So mix it, don't be afraid to use your hands, y'all. Build a relationship with your food, don't be scared. So at this point, you've marinated your beef. You wanna put it in the fridge and allow it to just kind of seep, all those flavors to seep in for about 20-25 minutes. It's best if you do it overnight because it will really be more flavorful and it'll tenderize the meat as well. So we'll put this in the fridge, and in about 20-25 minutes, we'll make skewers. So stay tuned because I'll be right back. Welcome back, friends. So look, our peas are boiled to like a perfect, almost al dente. We didn't want to overcook them. I wish you could smell this. It's like so herbaceous and it's nostalgic to me. It reminds me of home so much. So now we're gonna go ahead and get our stew started. Our pan is on at about like medium heat. And what we're gonna do first is add a little bit of our olive oil in there. Just a little bit, not too much, because we have this concoction here that I'm going to talk to you guys about. This, we have a little bit of onion, some rice flour to keep this gluten-free, and some butter. What this is going to do is kind of thicken our stew for us as we're cooking it. So we're going to let this heat up a little bit. And before we add this concoction, we're going to put some bacon. Now, you do not have to add bacon, but like we like flavor. So if you are someone who eats meat, by all means, add some bacon. You can add pancetta. You can add whatever you want. Actually, like the world is your oyster, do whatever you want. But for me, I love the bacon because it just adds a really nice smoky flavor. So go ahead and add that in there. And just stir that a bit. What we want is for that to get a little bit crisp and have a really nice texture. I really wish you could smell this. It smells so incredibly good. And just stir it a bit so it doesn't stick. But these Carolina cocoa pots are really good. They don't stick at all. So as we're letting that crisp up, let me tell you guys a little bit about why this dish, some fun facts about this dish. So you know, black-eyed peas are a staple in the West African culture. They're also a staple in the South. Growing up in Benin, I had this dish all the time. As I told you, my mama used to make this. But when I moved to the South, I saw dishes like hopping john, or I saw black-eyed peas being used in so many different ways. And I told myself, well, I mean, there's kind of a story here, like where's the intersection? And I realized that a lot of our ancestors brought this back with them, and it's become a really important part of like American cooking, especially in the South. And so it's special to me because I have a connection to all of this as an adopted child who's coming from my home and who grew up in Connecticut, who now has settled in the South. Like, this to me is probably, when you come to any of my dinners on our menu, is probably a signature at this point because of the love and the history that goes into this. So I feel like our bacon is at a really good place. So we'll go ahead and add the butter, flour, and onion mix. Now you can use regular flour if you want to, but I try to keep, not even try, y'all. In West African food, a lot of our ingredients are just naturally gluten-free and are naturally just really good for you. And so I just like to stay true to those things. So you can see in here it's kind of getting a little sticky, which is okay. The butter's gonna do what it's gonna do here in a second. At this point, we can add a little bit of salt. Salt always helps to take the moisture out of our onions, so it'll crisp up, it'll cook down really nice for us. So you just want to cook this down for just a couple minutes. Not even, honestly, you guys, maybe 30 seconds to a minute. So we did our onion. While that's cooking, we want to add a little bit of tomato paste. About this much is good. Just trust the process, y'all. You don't have to add any more oil, just trust it. Now, I told you guys that my mom made this growing up, so it is absolutely inspired by her, but it does have my own flair to it. This is not a thing that my mama does. My mama does not add tomatoes, but I think she would be okay with me adding tomatoes to this dish because they bring a really nice sweetness. And naturally, tomatoes have a lot of umami, which brings even more flavor into this dish. But fun fact, y'all, and don't tell nobody I told you this, but I hate tomatoes. But they're going in here anyway because I know what they do. When my friends cook for me, when they decide to, you know, people are always scared to cook for chefs. I don't know why. It's a language of love for us. Please cook for your chef friends. Like, we want that. We're asking for that, but they know not to put any tomatoes in my food. Okay, so what we want to do is just let these tomatoes cook down just a little bit. At this point, we want to go ahead and start adding some of our seasoning. So first things first, obviously, we're going to add some suya. Again, suya just will give it a really nice nutty flavor because of the peanuts that are in here. And again, if you're allergic to peanuts or you just don't like peanuts, you don't have to use it, but it does make a difference. It tastes incredibly good. Here we just have a little bit of onion powder, so we'll add some of that. For those of us who absolutely feel the need to measure, I challenge you and say just feel what's good to you in your heart. But if you just need to because you're starting out and you just need to know how much, put about a tablespoon of each of these things in there and start there. Here we have a little bit of smoked paprika. Then here are the really fun things that are coming from my home country that you might not find easily out here, but I can tell you other things you can use in lieu of those. But this is what makes this dish incredibly special. I'm just gonna lower it down just some because it's a little bit too hot. So this here is black pepper from my home country. You might be like, oh, you know, I know what black pepper tastes like. I promise you, you don't. This is so incredibly different. It's very potent, it's a little bit floral, and maybe even I compare it a little bit to Szechuan. It just gives a really nice flavor. This here is the ginger from my home. Now, again, I'm telling you, African ginger is very, very different. Again, it's a stronger flavor. So just add some of that in there, but you can use the ginger you have at home. And this here, this is the secret. Again, don't be telling anybody I'm telling you this, but green anise is coming from Togo. This is my mama's secret. It's indigenous to Togo, and this is what she puts in her ababa, which is what makes it really, really special. So if you can't find it anywhere, just like hit me up. I'm happy to share some with y'all. So that should be good enough. We'll go ahead and stir that some. I wish you could smell all the smells that are in this kitchen right now. So you're looking for this thickness. Don't worry, this is what it's supposed to look like. At this point, we're gonna go ahead and grate a little bit of ginger, garlic into this dish. So this is such an easy way to like add your ginger or garlic to any dishes rather than like sit here and chop them. It's so easy to just grate it and put it right in. But sometimes one of my favorite parts of cooking is prepping and chopping. It's very therapeutic for me. A lot of the times I do chop them, but this is such an easy way to do this. Now here's the kicker, y'all. This my mama would not be okay with, okay? Typically my mom would just put water in here, but I actually really enjoy this ginger white tea from my friend's Sorilla. This is a really beautiful tea company. They do a lot of sparkling teas, but this just adds a really nice layer of flavor to your dish. If you want, you can add beer if you want to. You could add Sorilla tea if you want to. You can add stock, but you could honestly do anything that you want, but I just really like the flavor of this. So what we're gonna do is let that come to a boil. And once it does, we'll go ahead and add our peas. We'll taste it and see where it's at and see if we need to add a little bit of water, looking at the consistency. And we're just about close to being done with this dish, you guys. It's really easy to make. You can make this in probably 30 minutes or under. So we're gonna cover it and let it cook down some, then we'll add our peas. All right, y'all, it's been maybe about 2 to 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and see where our stew is. Oh, yes. Okay, it's come to a boil. I'm gonna stir it. And you know, if you're a little bit intimidated about like not using any measurements, this is a great time for you to taste and check where your the flavor is. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do it the way we do it at home in Africa. That's really, really good. I'm gonna be right back because I'm gonna wash my hands because I know exactly how y'all do. And I'll be back, okay? My hands are washed, all right? So here we go. This is looking really good to me. I think I wanna add a little bit more liquid because it's pretty thick, and when we add the peas, it will thicken up even more. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of water. At this point, the flavor is really good to me, but I just want to add a little bit more of the ginger and a little bit more of the anise. Because the anise really is the star of the show, y'all. Our stew is looking really, really good. I'm gonna go ahead and add our black-eyed peas now. So you want to add everything with all the things we put in the beginning. Right. So as you can see, I'm thinking that I need a little bit more liquid in here, so I'll just add the rest of my water. And now I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. And some more suya because that's what I'm feeling. Okay. So we are so close to being done. I'm gonna cover this and let this cook down for maybe another 10 minutes. Until our peas are nice and al dente. Okay, y'all, so our beef has been marinating for about 25 minutes or longer. That's what we would prefer. We're gonna go ahead and skewer them and get them right on the griddle. So, I mean, I know y'all have skewered before, but you can really do it any kind of way. Mine are quite small. I like them that way, but just any way you would like. Just get it like this. And don't worry, I mean, take your time. I am in the business of just like making all the things work. So do it however it feels good to you. Again, don't be scared about the fatty pieces. Those are like my favorite part actually, you guys, is because it's really delicious. And if you are cooking with your kids, this is like a really fun thing to do with them. I do this with my daughter all the time because suya is probably one of her favorite things to eat that I make at home for her. So it's a really fun activity to get your children involved in the kitchen with you as well. Okay. All right, our skewers are done, and I'm gonna get them back here so that we can get it on the griddle. What we're doing here is just seasoning our griddle with just a little bit of oil. I told y'all the fat with this is gonna be really, really good. So let's go ahead and throw that on there too. Now y'all, I measure my progress as a chef by my tolerance of heat, because my aunties and my mamas, all the women in Africa, I don't know that they know what heat is anymore. So I'm practicing so I can be just as good as they are. Okay. So that's ready. Let's go ahead and lay your skewers down. These would be such a nice kind of like appetizer if you're having a party, or as a side, as a protein choice for a dish, your full dish. But like I said, for us, this is a big street food, so we just eat it just like this. You're looking to cook these about 2 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes on each side. It really shouldn't take that long. Oh, these are my favorite pieces right there. So we flip them over, just face the opposite side. Okay, these are nice and basted. They're almost about done. One thing that I really love about using Carolina cooker griddles or grills or any of their products is because they really don't stick. Like, there isn't a problem here at all, you guys. And it makes cooking so much easier when you don't have to struggle with your food. Okay, family, so these are just about ready. I'm gonna turn off our griddle. Just let them sit here for a second, and then we're gonna plate it. Okay, family, our suya is nice and ready. I'm just gonna add a little bit of suya on there for us because that's what we do at home. Just like that. Put as much or as little as you would like. Then we have some nice red onions that we've sliced up. Just add that. You could either pickle these, you can add them raw. Really, it's up to you. I find when you do pickle them, it gives a really tasty flavor. Again, we'll add a little bit of our lime zest, just like that. If you can't tell, I'm a very colorful person. I love color with everything that I do. And then we can just take a little bit of cilantro, cut that up a bit, a little bit of salt, and your cilantro. So our suya is ready, or chachanga, whatever you like to call it, is ready. You can enjoy it by yourself or with your family. What we're gonna head to next is finishing our ababa. So I'll be right back. Family, it's been about 5-10 minutes, so we're gonna check on our peas and see where they're at. Okay, they're looking really, really good. Now at this point, I just wanna add the rest of my tomatoes just to give more texture to our dish. And then we're gonna go ahead and add the scallions. A little bit of lemon zest. Can you guys tell, like, I love citrus? I'll put a lime and a lime zest in everything. Okay, and a little bit of lime juice. At this point, we taste again. That's really, really good. We can add a little bit more salt. and our bubble is ready. I'm gonna wash my hands and then plate our food all up together, okay? So I'll be back. Okay family, a lot of our meal is already done, but no West African meal is complete without plantains. So we're gonna fry up some. Benin, we call it aloko. In Ghana, it could be kelewele. It could be, there's so many names to this, but I'm gonna show you guys how I make it myself. So first we're gonna just cut this, and our oil has been heating up. What we have in here is some onions, some ginger, some herbs, and some garlic just to season it, because again, I'm all about flavor, and this is really gonna add another layer of flavor to our plantains. So all you wanna do is just cut up both sides, right in the middle. All right, you guys, you know, fun fact, the skin of the plantains, you can actually make some tea out of it. You could do so many things out of the plantains. I love to use all parts of what I'm cooking. So this is something that you could easily do in your home. I'm just gonna slide this away here because our peas are already done. I'm actually really smelling the Scotch bonnet and the habaneros that are in here. It smells so good. So all you wanna do, slice lengthwise. I like to cut my plantains this way. I don't know why, I just feel like it tastes better than, you know, some of the traditional ways we cut them at home. So it's really easy. Just at an angle. Again, just both sides. Now, if you prefer to cut it into rounds, absolutely do that. It's your world. You live in it. This is just how I prefer mine. And it looks like our oil is actually nice and ready. So I'm just gonna take out. My God, I wish you guys could smell how good this Scotch bonnet is. Now, if you're at home, you can use any herb that you would like, any spice that you would like. You don't have to do it exactly this way. I just prefer it because it's really flavorful, and that's how we do it at home. So go ahead and get your plantains inside the oil. It's bubbling, so that's perfect. That's what you're looking for. So you're gonna let these cook maybe about, you know, 5 minutes. You want them to get nice and brown. Now, these are not to be confused with the green plantains, okay? Those are like starchier and they're not sweet. We want the sweet plantains. So we're gonna let these cook just a little bit until they are nice and brown for us, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so it's been a few minutes and it's looking like our plantains are nice and brown. So we're just gonna get them out of the oil now. These are like my favorite snacks to eat. Okay, I like to salt mine. There's nothing like a little like sweet and salty flavor. So family, all of our food is ready. So let's like go ahead and get ready to plate, and I'll be right back. Okay family, let's get ready to plate. This beautiful plate here that you see is made from a company called Hand, based out of Burlington, North Carolina. They actually spend so many hours making all of their pottery by hand. It's a beautiful place. Y'all should actually go and check them out in their workshop. Anna, shout out to you, you're a beautiful person. So we're gonna go ahead and plate our food. Everything is ready and I'm really excited. Like, I'm hungry, so I'm ready to eat. So you wanna start with your peas. It's okay if you get some herbs in there. Okay. What we've made here, I made some fonio, and if you don't know what that is, fonio is like the most ancient grain of West Africa. They call it the poor man's grain because it's an easy crop to work with, but it's so good for you and it's really high in fiber, and it's absolutely gluten-free. So for me, I like to just put it right on top of my peas. could kind of soups, do it however you would like, but this is what I like to do. And the way that I made the fonio is so quick to make. All you do is boil some water, add a little salt, a little olive oil, and throw the fonio in, bring it to a boil, cover your pot, and it's done in about 5 minutes. I also, our plantains, like this is just gonna be a really great sweetness. Add it to our dish, add as many as you want. I like a lot, so. And then, something we do in the South, if you know, you go to many restaurants, they usually have, you know, some vinegar on the side or some hot vinegar for you. This is a vinegar that I make myself. It's got lots of herbs, lots of spices in there. I like to just throw a little bit on top of it because I like my food to have a little kick to it, y'all. So you don't have to do this, but it just gives it a really, really nice touch. So that's done. You can add some more greens if you want. And you can just cut it any way that you would like. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up right here, y'all, because it's gonna drive me crazy. Family, thank you so much for joining me this evening. We made a baba with a little twist using Ilewet Foods suya spice. We made some fonio that we added a little bit of herbs to. We made our plantains to add a little bit of sweetness to this dish, and we spiced our oil with lots of herbs and spices and Scotch bonnet peppers. Then we added a little bit of hot vinegar just to give it that nice little bite. So I'm hungry. I'm gonna go ahead and eat this. I hope you get to make this with your family. Wami Dudu. I'll see you guys next time.